Tip number 6 on the hit the mark goal setting. You ready? Tip number 6. Now, when I was in school, I used to run the high hurdles. You want to know about high hurdles? High hurdles. Well, the high hurdles, you have to. It's a sprint, but you have these high hurdles in between. So you have to actually have a. Anyone know the word I'm about to use? You have to have a to run them. You have to have a rhythm. You have to have a rhythm. You have to have a rhythm. And rhythm is always based upon, a systematic strategy, a counting, a measurement, right? So the key to winning and hitting your goals is to find the strategy, the formula, and then hit that formula in a rhythm. So it's a 1, 2, 3 jump, 1, 2, 3 step, 1, 2, 3 step. You should have 3 steps in between each high hurdle as we go. So when we did, I can't tell you all the secrets of Barry Buster. What I did is I helped create hurdles with a step in between for each person, like Pastor Neela, so that they could actually make sure that they're hitting every time they're stepping, they're overcoming something large. So it's not 1, 2, 3. We just did one step, one step. Well, it's the same thing, creating that rhythm. Because if you can create a rhythm, then you will actually make sure you're successful every time. And the key to creating a rhythm is to find your rhythm, to find your rhythm, what works for you. And what we'll do is we'll watch, Mark Wahlberg. He'll wake up at 4 a.m. He'll go work out with someone. He'll be all ripped. He'll show his abs. And then all the guys want to be Marky Mark. And they start waking up at 3:30 and they can barely even see out of their eyes, right? They're closed because they want to have those abs. But he wants to get up. He gets up at that time. That's his flow. That's not my flow. I'm not working out anymore. I like to work out at night. I like to work out in the evening. That's my thing. After my day, I want to unwind for my brain. So I have to do something physical to get my brain out of the work mode. So I'll go and I'll work out. And if I still have stuff that yes, I love to work out at night. If I still have stuff that I'm working through, my body's getting fatigued. Now I'm going to I'm in a kind of like a open lid space. So I do have a lot of creativity to come, but it's not because I'm like working mentally trying to figure it out. So that's for me, my rhythm. So when I realized that I do best at night, I mean, when I get up and work out in the morning, I'm like, all right, let me do, right. I just not about it. I'm not about them. Like, what are we doing? What am I doing again? It's like trying to figure out where am I at. And so nighttime is great. Afternoon's fine. I can do an afternoon. But I had to have taxed my mind a lot for me to actually do an afternoon workout because I really want to break this barrier, my mind and my body. I want to just really disconnect. But that's my rhythm. And so when you find your rhythm, and the goal is to discover your rhythm, the more you know exactly how you work. I know that I'm easily bored. If you put me on an assembly line and I have to take that widget and put that widget in that thing, I'm like throwing widgets within an hour. I'm throwing widgets. I'm actually like going to be tossing widgets. Someone's getting hit with a widget in the eyeball. At least hour and a half, right? Because it's the same monotonous thing over and over and over. I knew that about myself. And then when I was young, I realized I don't do well with this kinds of thing. I need creativity. I need activation. I need excitement. And so it's hard when you need excitement every time, then you quit stuff because it's not exciting. And I realized that there's no way to be successful if you quit everything that's not exciting. Because sometimes, and all the time, I should say, success is based upon systematic, monotonous, boring systems and strategies. Why am I a pipeline person? Because I realize pipelines are about systematic strategies and focus and not necessarily formulas. We do need to understand formulas, but systems, processes that are consistently the same. I realized that's the key to success every single time. So I needed to make a system that allowed my ADD or whatever I would have been diagnosed with in school because I was in trouble all the time in school. whatever that was, I needed to have it where I could do it. So I needed to find a system. So I found a system for myself that every day has to be different, but every week has to be the same. So my consistency is on my same. Every week is the same. So every Sunday is the same. Every Monday is the same. Every Tuesday is the same. Every Wednesday is the same. Every Thursday is the same. Every Friday is the same. But not every day of my week is the same. If I do every day of my week is the same, I'm out of here. I'm like, I'm going rafting. I'm doing something. I'm quitting my job, right? I can't do that. That's not my personality. It's not my bend. It's not my. So I had to find out, how can I be successful? Because a lot of people use this kind of energy that I have, and many of you have used this kind of energy to make excuses of why you're changing from one thing or another, or you can't commit to something. But the fact is if you can find the season of same, for me is 7 days, the season of same, but in the midst of that, create a different aspect of every day. So Monday is my Sabbath day. It's my day off. It's my day of family hanging. Tuesday is my day that I'm doing a lot of barrier buster. I'm doing a lot of working in that coaching space. Wednesday I'm doing church stuff, staff. Thursday I'm doing more coaching, more barrier buster, whatever expansions I'm working on. Friday is my big writing day. I write every day. I write every day. There's not a day I don't write. I write something every day. I'm writing a paragraph. I'm doing a research and writing that research down, but I write every day. But I don't write every day at the same time. I write every day when I'm inspired or when I go to bed. When I go to bed, if I'm in my bed and I haven't written, I take out my phone and I write. I think I've shared with you, I write most of my books on my phone. So I'm on my bed and I'm like, okay, and I'm going to get the last minute thoughts. I'm going to write at least a sentence because I have to write every single day. Now that's my everyday. I'm inspired to do that. That never goes away. I work out every day, but my workout is not the same every day, right? I have to change my workout. I work out differently every day. So I have a workout which I call the monkey bars, and that's my weight, my full body weight. Then the next day is my cardio, and I'll do some kind of cardio, and the next day I'll get back on the monkey bars and the weights and the physical. But I have to break it up because of my makeup. You guys understanding? When you're creating your goal, you're creating a goal based upon your makeup, not someone else's makeup. And you want to create a goal based upon how you work. So the guy who runs Branson, he runs I mixed them up, but he runs Virgin Airline. He's not going to wake up at 5 o'clock guy. He's going to wake up, and when he wakes up, I think at 10 or something, he goes surfing. His first goal is to get out in the water, to go and play out, most of the day. And yet he runs, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Records, Virgin everything else, right? So you have to understand, you don't have to be like anyone else. You just have to be the best image and the best revelation of you, and know it, and know who you are, and know what that is. So goal number 6 is to know you and to know your rhythm. To know your rhythm. That's the tip. You have to find the actions that work. So I test out different workouts for me. What workouts for me? What eating works out? Find out what works for your body type, what works for your mind type, what works for your sleep type. Find out your type. You understand what I'm saying? Find out what works for you. How do you approach it? And now I get people to say, well, I'm going to find out what works for me. And then they keep changing. They never find it. So the goal is not just to keep trying a bunch of things, but to find out what works for you. If you're losing weight doing that, then do that. Now put it in a system and a process that helps you every single time. And if something comes new, there's going to be like a new ketogenic something else that comes, new diet that may or may not be, but don't break your rhythm if your rhythm is working just to try something new, because we get stuck in new trying and we stop rhythm. The key to your success is rhythm. Go back to what worked, because we stop what works and we break rhythm to try new things. And to try new things, you never have a rhythm. You have a rhythm only after you've proven the action works. So prove the action works, consistently get that, and then scale it. Scalability is very powerful. If you look at franchises, one of my favorite books is Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth. And if you really understand the power of a franchise doesn't try to keep getting bigger. A franchise just keeps expanding what they do over and over and over. So McDonald's is not trying to become a super McDonald's, right? They added like a little play yard and everything, but the fact is, you go into McDonald's, it's pretty much the same size just about everywhere. The kitchen's the same size. Their counter space is the same size. Why is that? Because systematically they found what works. And when you find what works, just keep doing it over and over. Now that's where the monotony comes in. So first find out what works. Make sure that it works. Create predictability in it. The key to success will always be what you can predict. Predictability. If you can't predict it, it's not success yet. So you're going to have to find out what's predictable. And then in your predictability, in order to expand, you're going to have to get into the experimental success. But before you go experimental success, you have to actually know what's predictable, what works. So Jesus, if we use it in the Jesus reference, Jesus came into a system that was completely predictable. He didn't come into the Gentile system because the Gentile system was random. It had no predictability. There was no systems and processes in it. It was appetites, and whatever appetites came, whatever energy was driving them, they were doing it, right? So let's do the Olympics. Let's lay around and eat grapes, right? They had all of this was based upon emotions and feeling, but Jesus came into a system that was completely predictable, right? Every Saturday, we know where the Jews were going to be. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we knew exactly what they were going to do. Why are the Jewish people the most successful people in the world and being the smallest population of people? Why? Is because their lives are very predictable. They are very systematic in approaching everything. And this is key. And we need to understand that I'm not racist, but I'm a student of races, right? The fact is, the thing is we need to know this is what God created in the Bible for us. And so we run away from the law, not realizing he says, if you don't turn from it to the left or to the right, you're going to actually be successful and make your way successful, prosperous everywhere you go. What is he saying? Stick to it. Don't turn from it. This is the predictability. And most people don't hit their goals is because they get distracted. They get distracted from the rhythm. They don't find the rhythm. They don't spend time with enough action to see if it's successful. Did you hear that word? You have to spend time with the action of it to see if it's successful. We have a generation that can watch a YouTube and think that they are now ready to be paid because they've collected the knowledge. I know how it works, so I know how to work it. But the fact is only when you spend time with the action do you really know how to work it. That's true experience. And so you have to actually know how to put it in action, and then you have to know the rhythm, the consistent rhythm of it. So find out what your rhythm is. You may not be like me. You may not be easily distracted. You may not be that person. I'm like the person I have to really focus, really pay attention. It could be in the name. It could be just like in the name or the water. It could be somewhere there that we need to know how the rhythm. So get your action down. Set a plan, right? And that plan is not a formula, it's a plan first. Now when that plan consistently, when it's acted upon, produces the same result, now it's a system. And I realized something about myself. I hope everybody around me realizes this about me. If something works once, I don't actually ever address it. I just call it a system. It's immediate now. It's a system. If it worked once, right? It worked. It's like, why are we talking about this again? It worked. It's like that's not okay. Only if you think we can make it better, or if it's broken. I don't need to sit down and keep saying, okay, this is the system. To me, if it worked, it worked. I did my first challenge. I did the challenge. It worked. We're doing it again. That's systematic. I don't need to change it. We can update it. We can add some new pretty colors to it. But the fact is, it worked. If it worked, it's a system. It's a system. Oh, you didn't pay attention to the steps. Let's go back and make sure we pay attention to the steps. But the fact is, let's strategize. And the strategy is this. The strategy is you're gonna set a plan. You're gonna give the action necessary to see if if it ain't broke, don't fix it. See, you're gonna see if the strategy worked. Action, does the strategy work? Action is the only way to test it. Then you're going to measure the results. At the end, you're going to know whether or not these results are, this is the return on investment proper here. Did I get what I wanted out of this? If I did, then let's continue to do it again and again. Repetition now, we're going to add to that. Repetition is going to be the key to whether or not I can get it every single time, exactly the same every single time. That's when I know I have my system. If I throw all the ingredients in and I bake it the first day and it's delicious, and I throw all the ingredients in the second day and I bake it exactly the same, it's not the same, then I'm missing something. I need to actually, and then I try it again the third day and it worked, and I tried again the fourth day and it doesn't work. I'm doing exactly the same. Then somewhere I need to figure out what's happening. And it could be I need to warm up the oven. I didn't warm up the oven the same time every day. It could be different aspects of it. So I just need to make sure that everything is systematic and that I can get the same result every single time. Now, again, for your emotional well-being, figure out how you work. I realized I knew my system. I knew I need to have a day for Barry Buster. I need to have a day for church. I need to have a day for writing. I need to have a day for relationship building, family and friends. I need to have a day on in God. That's my Sabbath, right? I need to have. I knew I needed those days, and I needed to have those things, but I didn't want to break them down like most people do. In one day, they do five things. One day they do six things. I wanted to have a whole day for it because I needed to spend a whole day on it. And so I just worked it according to my emotional well-being, right? That's my emotional space. Now you may not have that. You may not have that. It may not be your problem. So work it away according to your emotional space. But know that systematically, if you want to be successful, you will never get away from finding a rhythm. You have to have a rhythm, and a rhythm is based upon having the same system over and 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 over. Systems that produce the same results over and over and over and over. I'm so thankful. Just was on a plane. I'm so thankful that they are so systematic about checking every single flight. They go through everything every single time. I'm so glad they didn't say, well, we did it this morning, and by the end of the day, the flight's been 10 times and they've not checked everything. I'm so glad that they have to go through the same checklist every single time before the plane takes off. And that checklist, they never become mediocre about. They keep it with intense focus, rhythm, because they treat it as if someone's life is in danger, right? So you need to make sure that you do yours and you keep it in a way where you go, this is the livelihood here. This is the life of my business. This is the life of my, right? I'm going to keep that focus. So hopefully that's real little key. You're going to be bored sometimes. You're going to be bored. You're going to be bored, and know that that's the key to success. And people don't like that, but that's the truth. All right.